Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for always sparing your time to watch and to listen to me as I continue expounding on the conditions of the working people in Uganda. The poor state of the working people in Uganda is the very reason why I continue addressing you with a view that we may be able to work together to contribute towards bringing about positive change. I am looking forward to that moment when change will come. I do not know how long it will take, but I know for sure one day there will be change, and the workers of Uganda shall be able to derive benefit from the labor that they offer in a much more dignified manner than is the case it is today. I want to today spend a bit of time to speak about social security. I have been speaking about the rights of the working people, and I want today to speak about social security. I spoke a little bit about social security in my last video, but today let me speak about NSSF, National Social Security Fund. NSSF, as we all know, is a statutory body that has been established to ensure collection of savings from the workers. This contribution comes from the workers, and part of it comes from the employer. The employer contributes 10% and the worker contributes 5%. And every employer in Uganda is under obligation to recover this money and remit it to NSSF on monthly basis without delay. And of course, when we talk about the employer's contribution, some people will say, but you see, employers are contributing. The workers are only contributing 5%. No, that is part of the wage bill. And you know the 10% in one way or the other even affects increment in the salaries, because every time employers budget for the wage bill, they include the component of salaries, meaning of 10%. And if trade unions will go to a place to try and negotiate salaries of the workers, that 10% affects negotiations very seriously. So in one way or the other, 10% much as is contributed by the employer, but actually it is a worker's salary. So I want to talk about the fact that these contributions that is supposed to be submitted to NSSF on monthly basis is incidentally not being remitted as is required. And if it is not remitted, what then happens? If it is not remitted, it means the right of that worker has been denied. At old age, when that worker is no longer able to do any work, he will not have an opportunity to derive a benefit from such a saving. That money at old age is very important, and it will help a worker to be able to live a decent life. That's why we trade unionists believe that saving with NSSF is the best thing for the worker to do in this present day. Now, forget about these stories that people talk about the fact that all workers of money for workers in NSSF is being stolen. Money, incidentally, theft is occurring almost everywhere in this country. But I would want to encourage the workers that the stories published about NSSF do not necessarily reflect 100% truth. Some of the stories published about NSSF are done but with a political motive, because people want to have staffs at NSSF whom they can be able to control so that they can access that money. So when this sometimes is not achieved, they fabricate a lot of stories so that they make the fund to look to be so incompetent that it cannot be able to deliver for the workers. That's why some of these stories come up. Some stories are true. There are some managers who are involved in thefts. That one we agree. But NSSF as an institution, in my view, well, I may not know much, but at least based on the little I know, I think it is a good effort, it's a good initiative, it's a good organization, and all workers in Uganda have got to agree that let us save the money. In any case, even if you don't agree, the money will have to be recovered because it's a statutory requirement. It's mandatory. It's not negotiable. But the point that has brought me here today is the fact that NSSF has got about 1 million subscribers. About 1 million subscribers. In fact, they are even less. People who subscribe to NSSF are about just less than 1 million workers. But you and me know very well that the working people in Uganda, we are more than 1 million. If we are to go with the statistics from Uganda Bureau of Statistics, we would be talking about 20 million people, 20 million workers, 20 million people involved in work. Why are we not having a subscription to NSSF for all the 20 million people? Why are we having subscription to NSSF for only 1 million? Okay, let us say maybe there are a lot of other challenges, but let's have 5 million. So when you see people talking that, okay, NSSF has a contribution has risen to about 18, 19, 20 trillion, you think that is a lot of money. But that money actually can be able to multiply even fivefold. If the remittances were done in the way they should be done. And if remittances are not done, the workers are losing. Yes, of course government loses, but the workers are the greatest losers are the workers. Why then is it that this money is not remitted? Where is the problem? I am going to speak about part of the problem that exists, why this money is not being remitted. And to demand that this must be corrected because workers are losing money. Workers are losing money. Remember, I'm here speaking about the poor state of the working people in Uganda. Workers are serving under very difficult conditions. But even when they have served, what is rightfully theirs is not being given. It's not being given to them. You see how unfair society can be. I work under very difficult conditions. I earn my little money, maybe 300,000, 200, 150. The kind of money that I earn as a worker, I'm earning very little money. But even on that very little money, still my employer finds it very pleasant to him or her to deny me what would assist me to live a slightly better life at my old age. What is wrong with our societies? Why are human beings so reckless? Why are they so insensitive that they cannot even think about others? You are a billionaire, a company that is operating on billions of shillings, hundreds of millions of shillings, millions of dollars, whatever it is, but still you want to steal. You want to steal from the poor so that you can make your empire so huge. This is not right. This is very unfair. And I want to address specifically management of NSSF that you must collect this money. In fact, one of the jobs I've given myself is to pursue you to the level that you must collect money from every employer. I know that sometimes politically you are threatened not to collect money from certain people, but that is not going to be entertained by trade unions in Uganda. As workers of Uganda, we need you to collect our money. Collect all our money and keep it in your coffers, so that when that moment comes and we need it, we shall come and pick it so that it can help us in old age. When we are weak, we are no longer able to work, we are no longer able to talk, such as I'm speaking to you now. Collect that money, and make sure everybody pays that money to guarantee the future, improve better living standards for the workers of Uganda at old age. I talk about this because in the government is giving about 20,000 to elderly people. Can you imagine? 20,000 shillings per month to elderly people. And you want me as a worker who has been